All right, let me get to the next story here. Next story I want to get to is there are a couple stories that we haven't gotten into, so I don't want to forget because I know there was a couple other stories to go to. Okay, here we go. Something happened with Tim Pool with my. Okay, let's go to Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson says he plans to buy home in Doha, defense Qatar, hosting Hamas. I'm an American. I'll be wherever I want to. So, Rob, I think you have two clips on this, right?
Yep.
Go for it. What's this one?
This is the clip of Tucker Carlson talking about purchasing a home in Qatar.
Go for it.
Whenever we are needed to help and to support within that process. But I believe it is solvable. It can be achieved. It's not something impossible.
So last question. I've been personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar, both
Please,
because I am
pay a high check
in Doha, yeah, and I'm doing that because I like the city. I think it's beautiful, but also to make the statement that I'm an American and a free man, and I'll be wherever I want to be, which I think is important. But that does kind of leave us in a place where I have not taken any money from Qatar. I have instead given money to Qatar. And I wonder if you feel that that means I've bought you and you will now spew my propaganda.
Well, thank you. Just ask me whatever you want me to do for you, I will do it. But look, Tucker, unfortunately, as I told you, that there are a lot of players putting a lot of efforts to sabotage the relationship between Qatar and the United States and to try to demonize anyone who will come to this country. Our efforts, when we are lobbying or doing, our
Okay, so that's the clip. Is that the clip that he's buying a house?
Yep.
And then do you have another clip that he gets questioned on it of buying a house?
Afterwards, he does.
I'll find that.
Yeah, there's another clip apparently that he's questioned on a question on buying a house, and I think he had to respond to it. Well, until you find that, Adam, go ahead.
So Tucker's buying a house in Qatar. He's not going on vacation. He's not renting a little VRBO. He's not an Airbnb. He's buying a house in Doha, Qatar. For what reason?
Because he's an American, Adam.
Oh, because he's American. He's
You
going
can
to
do whatever you want. I don't know what the correlation, that doesn't make sense. But
So you know how they say, you're saying the quiet part out loud? He's either completely lying or he's the most honest liar ever. I don't know which one it is. So he's been accused of taking funding from Qatar. He's like, I would never. I'm giving them my money. I'm investing in them. It's a very strange relationship. These strange bedfellows with this, what do they call the woke right these days, and Qatar. Do you know what countries are the most critical of Qatar? Funding terrorism, funding Islamism all around the world, funding the Muslim Brotherhood. Do you know what countries? Their neighbors. Saudi, the UAE, Bahrain, Egypt, not even to mention Israel. I'm so glad that Tucker just came out and said it. Now everyone can do their investigating and what's going on here.
But let me ask you.
Is it a little weird you're buying a place in Doha, Qatar?
Okay, so here's him responding to it, and then I want to ask the question. Go ahead.
I like it here a lot. Yeah, I like it.
you have been.
By the way, I'm an American. I can go wherever I want and speak to anyone I want to.
Yeah, no shit.
Because I'm a free man. That's the promise of my country. And some are seeking to change that and to put our population
It has nothing to do with buying
bondage,
property.
and I'm not participating in that.
And when you've questioned AIPAC and you've questioned things, are you facing a consequence and a backlash that now day to day?
I have a right to say what I think. I'm an American citizen. Period. I like it here.
Do you know how I'm an American citizen, so I can go move to Doha, Qatar. What is not adding up here?
It's
not like saying I'm an American citizen. I can say whatever I want in my country. I believe in freedom of speech. I can move to any state I want. I can criticize the president.
Yeah.
I love my country. I'm critical of my country.
Yeah.
You're saying I'm a proud American, so I'm moving to Doha, Qatar. Someone walk me through the logic here.
Or you know what they should have asked? Okay, Tucker, you can do whatever you want, you can buy, but here's the question. Why? Why would you buy property in Qatar?
Because it's a good investment?
I mean, is this the Qatar that hold on, that sent hundreds of millions of dollars to like terrorism, and the United States Treasury sanctioned them for financing Al Qaeda, for based charities and intelligence for moving money to extremist groups in Syria.
That's
wait
them.
a minute,
They were the ones
Muslim
that
Brotherhood
Hamas was living in Doha.
Wait, no, I'm genuinely like. By the way, you could do whatever you want to do. I'm just confused why you would buy a house in a Muslim nation as a Christian dude. I'm very like
because he's an American, Vinny.
Oh, then forget.
Because he's an American.
Yeah, he looked very. By the way, he looked flustered in that, like almost mad that they're even asking, "Why are you buying it?" Not answering the question. Why would you buy it? Like vacationing?
The answer, the reason, the rationale doesn't make sense to me. If he says, listen, I love the world. I want to experience the world. I want to see what the world has to offer. I love Muslim culture. I want to live in Doha. Makes sense. Cool. But don't say, I'm a proud American. I'm a patriot. I love Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. So I'm moving to Doha, Qatar.
No, you know, you should have said.
It doesn't make
You should have
sense.
said this. You know why? Because I'm rich and I could buy houses and that's what I do. Say that and be blunt and honest. But what? Why
use the American excuse as that's why you're buying?
A guy that lives in Maine just bought a. I don't know, dude. That's
okay,
weird.
so that's one clip. And then there's this other clip, Rob, of the investors. So the investors are like, we invested into, but here's a network that people need to know what the link is. You just had it a minute ago, Rob. You had it up right there. Go, watch this here.
And, I'm happy to say that one of the first investments our new fund made was putting Tucker Carlson in business with his new network.
And who is this exactly?
This is Omid Malik from 1789 Capital that gave roughly $15 million to Tucker's network with Neil Patel. But this guy here, just so you know, he has also got, I think he's also friends with, his background, mother is Iranian, father is Pakistani, and he's an investor. But he's got nothing, he has no link to Qatar. He has no link to Qatar. I'm trying to find that, not at all. And he's apparently also a link with him and Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump Jr., I think, joined the firm in 2024, late 2024. But to me, the challenge with this is the following. Here's what the challenge with this is. I don't care if you buy a house in Qatar. I don't care if you buy a house in, Israel. I don't care if you buy a house anywhere. Here's the reality of it. If Ben Shapiro goes and buys a house in Israel, you know what they would do? This is why this, this is why that. Then guess what? The only time you can expect criticism is if you don't criticize the other side for doing exactly what you're now doing. That's all it is. Nobody's got a problem with where you buy a house. You want to buy a house in Qatar? Go buy a house in Qatar. But then you kind of sit there and you realize, why are they so protective of avoiding some of the stories of Islam and Muslim and what's going on with Nigeria and what's going on with... That's the part that some people, when they question that, they're like, why are you not openly criticizing some of this stuff? Well, it makes sense. Your investor's Pakistani. Why would you criticize it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where the money's coming from.
The investor is Pakistani, and he says, Pakistanis are very good to me. Maybe Omid Malik is very nice to you, because his family, lived in New York, and I don't know if he was raised here. Was he born and raised here?
He's born in Jersey, I think.
Yeah, so maybe he, who is probably a good guy and a good business guy, he probably is because he was born here and he's assimilated. And there's no need to call out people like him. This is probably a good, net positive citizen. But you got to be able to call out the BS on the other side. Like when you call out America, and then you shit on America for certain things, and then you're not willing to do the same for others that are, doing certain things. I mean, I respect the fact that he went and he called out Pierce a little bit, and he said, hey, you free country, say it, say it, say it. Yeah. That whole thing that we talked about. But
can I maybe, in a weird way, give maybe an explanation and sort of a devil's advocate to maybe what Tucker's doing? So I have a friend of mine, right? He's been in and out of rehab. And every time I see him, he has his good days, he has his bad days. And on his bad days, I go, hey, dude, you got to stop. I mean, enough's enough. His response is, don't tell me what to do. I said, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you kind of what you maybe want to consider.
Advice. Yes.
Like when you had your drinking problem, and if I came up to you and be like, I noticed you're drinking a lot more. You
Shut
might
up,
wanna-
Adam.
Don't
You know
tell
what
me
you're
what to
talking
do.
about.
Don't tell me what to do. At some point, you do it almost out of spite.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even willing to receive criticism or feedback, and you put up a wall, and you almost do the exact opposite of what people are telling you to do. Like our friend that we had over here, we're like, don't do this, don't do this. I'm telling you, don't tell me what to do. I don't know if that's what Tucker's dealing with right now. He's been accused of being anti-Israel, been accused of being anti-Semitic, been accused of taking money from Qatar. So maybe there's an element where he's like, oh, really? Oh, really? How about I go buy a house in Qatar, tough guy? And you want to know why? Because I'm an American.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, it doesn't make sense to me, but that's the only thing I can make of
But
it.
Pat, like Ben Shapiro buying property in Israel would make sense.
'Cause he's Jewish.
You want to go to Israel, which you a staunch supporter,
Yeah.
go ahead and do that. Tucker's a Christian, a devout pope talking about Christianity and everything all the time, and I respect him for it. Why would a Christian buy property in a Muslim country where even if your wife goes, she's going to have to cover up her head and all that shit because she's a second-class citizen? I'm just very confused. It's very odd, I'll say that. I'm not confused. It's just a little weird. I don't care how much money I have. I don't care how rich you are. Why would you buy land in a all Muslim country? He can't build a church there. Would you want to have a church? No, I'm being that serious.
of course you
I would
cannot.
want as a Christian be like, hey, I'm going to come out. I want a little
happening.
church here. Good luck building a church in
PBD.
Qatar.
Maybe tear down my argument. Explain to me when I said he's just doing it out of spite. Like, oh yeah, you tell me I can do this. Well, I'll show you. I'm going to go move to Qatar.
No,
What is that logic?
If you buy a house somewhere, it's like the way we make decisions. Tom and I were looking at a few planes right now, and you only buy a plane if you travel a certain number of times per year. Like if it's 150, 200 hours, you consider getting a jet, okay? Or else, if I'm buying a jet to kind of have somebody else rent it out constantly and I'm not using it, why do I need to buy it? I'll just charter it. It doesn't make sense.
Of course.
Okay. Why would I buy a house in the Hamptons?
Because you love it.
Because I love it and
Vacation.
probably I'm going to be there a good amount of time per year. You don't buy a vacation house if you're only planning on being there for a week. You don't buy a vacation house if you're going to be somewhere for 2 weeks. You buy it because you're going to be there often. If he's buying a house in Qatar, that means he's probably planning on being there a lot.
I agree.
So then guess what? And then the next question becomes why?
Because he's an American.
Right,
That was his response.
But to a person who is investigating it can follow and say why. What's the motive? What's the intention? What are the benefits? What are you getting? That, like for example, look, Ronaldo. Ronaldo chose to go play for who?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Why? They were paying him very well.
Of course.
Okay, and he loves living there. He feels safe, and he loves it. And they're paying him around 2 to 230 million a year
Ridiculous.
to play there, and they're treating him like a king.
Live golf, too.
Yeah, of course. So they treat him like a king. So guess what? He chose to go live there because he's playing there. All right, that's what he's doing. But he's
So
not
it's a money thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
course.
If you are, what's the motive? Who knows? And I don't know all the things here on what's going on.
Can we at least admit it's odd?
That's the first thing that's, by the way,
odd is an understatement.
Thank you.
Right.
No,
Okay.
odd is an understatement. I'm not telling
Yeah.
You're asking me a question like,
Yeah.
would I buy? Okay, I go to Aspen. Let's just say a week a year. Would I buy a vacation home there? Absolutely not. No. Would I buy a vacation home in the Hamptons?
yesterday.
Because what? It's a
Love
different
that
reason.
place.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'll show you one of the things we're looking at right now. I'll show it to you while we're going through this.
Okay.
Tom, I think you want to say something before I go to the next story.
Well, yeah. So I looked up who's buying, what Westerners are buying in Doha, Qatar.
Yeah.
And here's what I found. The number one real estate group in Doha is now number one, Sotheby's.
Sotheby's,
They're
okay.
big in Miami. I mean, from Fisher Island
Yes,
to
of course. I know
Billionaires
Sotheby's
Beach,
very
from
well. I'm very good
14th
friends
to
with Sotheby's,
22nd
yes.
down there, down South Beach. Yep, Sotheby's. And Southern Europeans, Italy, even people that live in south of France who have trouble finding availability in Monaco have purchased places. Now, but let's look at a map. If you're in Italy, it's not a big flight to go down to Doha. It's not like LA going to Brisbane,
Yeah.
right? And so apparently There's a lot of Western acceptance there. And take a look at this. They look very Western. Here's the samples here. I was looking here, and it says, you'll find right in here, European decor. That's their code word for Western decor.
Western, yeah.
Okay, luxury penthouse, $2.26 million bucks. 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and you'll notice they'll give you a 4-year payment plan,
4 years?
which is $47,900 a month. It says right there.
Holy moly!
So, but we'll give you 4 years. Take the whole 4 years. Don't worry about it. But the point is, there has been a concerted effort to live golf and a lot of other things. Everybody down on what's called the Big Peninsula, which is Saudi Arabia and everything, right? To attract people coming from Western cultures down there. So it's happening. However, I just mentioned, Adam and I are neighbors in Rome, and, it's a little crowded, and, we go to Sicily a lot. We do things, but we're like, hey, we're very successful business owners. Let's go halvesies on a place in Doha, because it's almost like pronounced Honolulu, but it's clean, new, all this stuff. That would make sense for us. And it only takes us, 6 hours to get there on a flight. It's not a big deal. But why would a guy from Maine go halfway around the world, to do that when the Bahamas are right here with all kinds of stuff available in the Bahamas?
No, this is what I'm saying. It's out of spite.
Can I say one thing too? Like now this kind of makes sense because, like, for instance, when we sit on a podcast like this and like October 7th happens or this happens or whatever, and we have all different sides. Pat thinks a certain way. You think a certain way, Adam. Tom does. I have a certain way. I don't like Bibi's actions. I think all that stuff that we talk about, and I'm critical of somebody like Israel. Then when you have somebody like Tucker, who's critical and then starts talking, and then it keeps pushing and then pushing for the other side, and then you see him buying houses in a place that basically sponsors terrorism. You say, what quote comes up to my mind? James O'Keefe, where he goes, what's your price? Is it 10 million? Is it 20 million? Because if the price is not your life, then guess what? You're for sale.
By the way,
bingo.
I've been very critical of Tucker. Obviously accomplished journalist, yada, 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 yada.
Whatever.
I even defended Nick Fuentes over him. He started off that phrase by saying, I'm not a tool of Qatar. I would just stop with, you're a tool. Because this doesn't add up.
Of course it doesn't.
None of us, we're trying to make sense of why you would move.
He's
this
American.
Isn't a vacation. This isn't a visit. You're going to go buy a place. You don't have to do this. You could just say, I really enjoyed here. I plan on coming and visit a couple times a year. Great. Buying a place? You remember we gave out shirts, plant your flag?
Yeah.
Buddy, you haven't even bought a place in Fort Lauderdale yet.
You don't even have a place in Miami yet.
Qatar. Just saying.
Yeah.
Weird stuff, Tucker.
Weird.
If you love Christmas as much as we do, okay, we got 3 Christmas trees in the house. It's a spectacle. Every Christmas when, Thanksgiving ends, that following Friday, I have to carry this 10-foot tree that weighs 600 pounds, and the family waits for me to come through, and we get this big tree, we put it in there, and I go up the ladder, and I'm telling you right now, every year I'm getting closer to falling. Okay, I had it under control at 43, 44.
I saw the ladder.
At 47, Vinny, I am so high. I'm so high that if a little bit
it's over.
Slips, I'm falling on my back. Nope. We're doing podcasts out of a wheelchair.
Nobody's helping you?
And it's always like, can you put the star all the way up top? I'm like all the way trying to put this thing up. I think there's something going on. Like it's like an inside job. There's a story right there.
You have to do it yourself?
Yeah. No. It's a blast. Obviously, everybody loves it. And Dylan loves decorating the tree. I hope for those of you guys that do as well, we love Christmas, and our Christmas merch is officially out. And the hat that we couldn't keep a single one of these. Guys were ordering 50 of these at a time. Rob, can you zoom in on that hat? This hat was such a massive hit last year. We sold 3,000 of them like this. They were gone, okay? And people were buying it as Christmas gifts for others, and then they were sending it to their clients, their friends. It says, Merry Christmas, future looks bright on the bottom and on the side with the VT logo. It's just a sick hat. We got a few hats. One of the hats sold out. This one that says Merry Christ Christmas.
Nice.
This one sold out. This one's gone. But you have the red one. You have the green one to choose from. And then that one as well, Rob. You have this one. This other one we have as well. If you want to go to this one, Rob, this Christmas on the bottom right. Yeah, right there. And then we have the Christmas. If you want to go and show Vinny, our model. Folks, look at our models wearing their, and these come with a nice, look at this. Look at this. This is
Look at Santa.
That's the pajamas, right? The
Yeah.
Merry Christmas
They're
pajamas.
so
The ugly
comfortable.
sweater. Future looks bright.
They're so comfortable.
Super comfortable. Forget about the socks Vinny's wearing that made it in there. Those socks don't come with it.
No.
But they're modeling. They look like a beautiful family. So if you want your whole family to be wearing the pajamas, the Merry Christmas. We also got these sweaters here as well.
Max's
the
truck
ugly
is in
sweater.
there.
This is sick.
Look at that.
Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. And we decided for everybody that does it, we just ordered a few thousand of these. You're going to get the Valuetainment Merry Christmas ornament that we're going to give to you. And the Valuetainment Future Looks Bright, Santa Claus, Merry Christmas. With any order you place, go to vtmerch.com, place your order. And guess what? Kamala Harris doesn't want you to say Merry Christmas.
Yep.
And we don't mind saying it, okay? We don't mind saying it at all. Merry Christmas to you. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.